Okay, so I'm filming my process for Project Life, which I don't normally do, so I thought I would stop and tell you a little bit because I get a lot of questions about printing pictures, which I actually can't help you with unless if you have a Mac. If you use iPhoto, I have a tutorial on my blog on how to print photos in a variety of different sizes onto 4x6 paper to use in, I have a PictureMate charm by Epson, but if you have a Selfie, it's probably the same, or any 4x6 printer, or even if you have a regular printer that has like a 4x6 tray. So I do have a tutorial for doing that with iPhoto, but I really can't help you if you don't have iPhoto, but I've heard that Picasso is a really good program for also putting different size pictures on a 4x6 canvas and then printing it, but I don't know how to do that. So you might want to Google it or YouTube search it or something. So what I do so I'm kind of scrapbooking two different events here, Project Lifestyle, and usually my Project Life is not for really big events. I use it more for everyday things, but I have a lot of pictures here that I'm not going to get scrapbooked in 12x12 format, so I want to get some of these really pretty pictures into my Project Life. And I also want to kind of tell the story of what we did on this weekend and then also our camping weekend. So what I do is I go through my pictures and I flag the ones that I like the best, either because they capture a moment that I really want to remember or scrapbook about, or because they're just really pretty pictures that I want to get off of my computer and put into a book someplace. So those are my standards for flagging the photos. Then once they're all flagged, I print out in big size. So these are 4x4. So that's as big as you can get on a 4x6 piece of paper of an Instagram. And so these ones are ones that I might scrapbook. This one is an awesome picture of just the tilt. The boat was really tilting over to the side. And then this is just a really fun picture of the girls with all their messy hair and the wind from the boat. And then this, like, Scott has the biggest smile I've ever seen on his face there. And so these I think are gonna become for 12x12 layouts. So I printed them up and I'm putting them with my kit. So I will be scrapbooking those. But I also, because I liked those photos so much, and they're such a big part of the story, like I don't think that this Project Life spread would be quite the same if it didn't have these pictures in it. So I also printed them in 3x3 size. 3x3 because they will fit in a 4x3 pocket if I want to, or I could put them in, like I could put two 3x4s in a 4x6 pocket. So 3x3 for my very favorite photos, or photos that have a lot of detail that I want to be able to see, so I don't want them too tiny. Then the other size that I print is if I haven't made an Instagram out of photos, so these are two that I had not made Instagrams of, but I definitely wanted to include in my Project Life. So I print them at 2x3, so I have two of those. And then for the smaller, less important, but still fun photos that I want to include, I might not include all of these, but I print them at 2x2 size. And then I'm going to make this square here be kind of like my title square for this. I don't usually do titles, but because this is an event, I'm going to do a title. So I'm gonna put, I wanted a big, hang on. Oh, Maya. Okay. I wanted a big photo here of just kind of like the overall cottage. We were at a friend's cottage that weekend. My other big challenge is I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 photos to scrap. Might not do all of these, but I have a total of 10 photos here, and I really would like to squeeze it all onto this one half. I might spill over onto this one, in which case I'll use a half Project Life. I'll use a half page here too if I have to spill over, but my challenge is to try to get this all into here. That might be a little full. I'm not sure if I can do it. So let me just eyeball it right now. There's lots of sailing photos. I want them all together. And then there's non-sailing photos. Plus I have a 4x6 that's coming that my husband is printing. So yes, I'm going to have to spill over onto this. So I'm going to use one Design A and one of the half Design A page protectors for this. So that frees me up a little bit to be able to spread these out. Here's where I'm going to put the weather. Maybe a filler card there if I can. This was later. That one will be the photo that Scott's sending. Maybe I can print this one up bigger because now I have more space. This is the girls playing cards in the... And then this is Heather and I. Okay, yeah, it's gonna look something like that. So just disregard this. It's gonna look something like that. So I'm gonna put you guys on fast forward and you can follow along with my process. Hi guys, Tracy here. It's a couple of days later and I have this part of my project life, this half, this first spread, completed. I'm just going to hold it up for you so that you can see it a little bit closer. I'll show it at the end too. That remember this flag or banner is not put on yet. It's going to go outside of the page protector because it crosses two pockets. So that's all done, and it came together pretty quickly. And the next thing in my photo stream are our camping pictures, and I have a whole lot of those, and I don't really need to put them all in Project Life because I'm going to scrapbook some of them. And now I have to go over to my computer, have a look at my photo stream, and decide what pictures I'm going to want to put in this side of this layout. And so this is just a piece of cardstock that I've drawn the dimensions of the pockets on, and I just use this as a basis for kind of keeping my cards in order as I'm working on them. What was I gonna say? It's really early here, so I'm not entirely in talking and explaining mode. But yeah, I'm going to pick out a couple pictures, and I'm going to pick out some to scrapbook and some to put in Project Life, and then I'll come back and tell you why I picked what I pick. And so I'm actually going to bring this over to my computer with me so that I have a sense of how many 4x6, I mean, I know I've got 4 of each, but it just kind of helps me think about how I'm going to spread them out. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I actually get enough questions about this kind of stuff that I thought I'd bring you guys over here to my computer and show you guys how I plan this. So I have my little paper here. Not that I really need it. I know there's 4 horizontal and 4 vertical. But this is, you might not be able to see that. It is, let's see if I can zoom in on it. I can't. Hang on. So this is an iPhoto, so if you don't have a Mac, you probably don't have this, or your pictures don't look like this. But, so there's the kind of the side over there. And you'll see that the blue thing, which is highlighted, that means that's the section I'm in, is called flagged. And so I know that on a Windows computer you can do this too in whatever, I forget what they call their media management software, picture manager, or I don't know what it's called. But I did used to have a PC, so I know that you can do that there too. And so what I did was I went through my August photo stream, which my computer just does that for me. It takes my pictures off of my phone as I take, well, it doesn't take them off, but it just kind of puts another version of it, a copy of it, on my computer. So whenever I go to my computer, it's always up to date with my photos. I don't have to plug in my phone and sync it or anything. So these are the ones that I've flagged for this project, so I've already done these, so I could unflag these if I want, and then they'll disappear, which will make it easier to kind of choose what I want to use. But I'm not going to do that because it's going to take a while and you guys are here. So this is kind of like the morning of camping, and then these are all the best pictures from camping. They're not all the pictures from camping, but they're the best ones, including all the Instagrams that I did. So right away, I'm looking at this one of the count of the weather, and I'm thinking that one should be printed at 4x6. So I'm going to do that. Go down into the print menu, and I have a blog post. If you go to my blog, under the tab at the top says Scrapbooking Resources, you'll find a link to my tutorial on how to print different sizes. So I'm not going to talk too much about how I'm doing this, but I also keep a little reference sheet right here on my desk that just tells me what sizes I need to print different things at so that they will look nice in my project life. And it's telling me that in order to do a screen cap, because an iPhone 5 screen cap is different than an iPhone 4 screen cap, an iPhone 4 screen cap I can just print at 3x4 and it comes out perfectly, but I don't have one of those anymore. I have so I actually don't want that to be borderless, but it doesn't matter. So I'm going to go into custom sizes, and I'm going to print it at, my little reference here tells me I have to print it at 2.2 by 4. 2.2 by 4. So there you go, my my screen cap is going to come up nicely. So I'm going to print that, and print. That's gonna come to my Canon picture. No, not my Canon. My Epson PictureMate. And then I really love this photo, so I'm definitely gonna print this one. I think I'm definitely gonna print this one just because I want to kind of touch on some of the main parts of the campground. So we spent a lot of time in the pool. Our car was really overpacked, so gotta include that, gotta include the pool. I would really like to include a picture with this man in it because he was kind of the guy taking care of the farm, and that he's in both of these. So I might print one of these. They're not the greatest photos, but they do have him in it. And I like that for that kind of a thing for my project life. So it's kind of like the memories that go along with him are good to have, not just, you know, the nice pictures of my kids and stuff. Definitely, I've already scrapbooked this one, but I definitely wanted to make a reappearance in my scrapbook or in my project life. And then this one here is another one I definitely want to put in. I'm probably not going to scrapbook this one, so I might want to put that one in too. So that's how I'm kind of deciding which ones I want to print. I've already got one of these pockets accounted for, so I've got 3 of those left and 4 4x6s left. So that means I could very easily print this one up because I like it so much. I could print this one up at 4x4, which means it would take up most of one of these. It would take up kind of this much space on one of these. This one doesn't have to be as big because it's mostly, I just wanted to get the shot that the pool was empty. And so, you know, the details are mostly here. I don't need a big giant picture of mostly empty pool. So I might print this one in 2x2. So I want to print, because 2x2s can fit 2 on a page, I want to print all my 2x2s at the same time. And with iPhoto, you can't print 2 different sizes of pictures on the same 4x6 canvas or piece of paper. So I want to pick out anything that might be 2x2s. And because I don't exactly love this, I mean, it's a cute picture, but I'm going to pick that as my other 2x2. So I just have to press the command button to select them both. I'm going to go into print, and I'm going to print them at 2x2, which is one of the default options for printing. So see how that puts both of them on the page, and then I'll just send that to print as well. So the other one is waiting for me over there at my printer. So those ones are done. And now what I could do is unflag these just so I don't get mixed up about which ones I've printed and not printed. But sometimes I change my mind about the size once I get over to my workspace and start kind of putting these out. And so I don't want to unflag them so I can easily go back to them. This one I'm thinking I might print at 3x3 or maybe 4x4. Can't quite decide. I was thinking about maybe printing up this one and then doing some journaling on the blanket. So if I print this one, I'll want it in big, but he won't like me to print a picture that big of him like that. So I'm going to think about and come back to. So I'm going to print this one in 4x4 because it has a lot of details in it, and if I print it too small, it's going to be hard to see the details. So I'm going to print that one. And I appreciate that you probably can't see all of these really close. So this one has a lot of details, so I'm going to go ahead and print it. There it is. I'm going to go ahead and print it at 4x4, which is not one of the default options. So I have to go into custom and click on 4x4. And that fills up the page. So that's going to print. I'm going to go back to the flagged photos. You don't have to open them to print them. So right now I have printed this one, this one, this one, and this one. So I still want to get one with this guy, and this one is kind of cute because it shows the goat going into the freezer, and that's a story I want to tell. So maybe I'll pick that one. This one is a little bit nicer because you can see more of the man, and these are some of the kids that our kids will kind of recognize and remember because they're not my kids, but they were kids that were playing with us. And the bunny's really cute. So I'm still kind of thinking about which of those ones. This one is a vertical, so I could put this one in a 3x4 pocket. So I'm going to think about that. This one I've already scrapbooked. That one is already done. I wouldn't mind getting a picture of this one because those are our friends who came. These two are our friends who stayed, and those are their daughters behind them, or their daughter and their niece. So maybe I'll include that one. So I'll print that one at 4x6. So for that, I just press borderless and it'll fill the whole 4x6 paper, print that one. So I have set these out kind of like this, not in the order that they're necessarily going to be, but at least taking up spaces that they're going to take up. So let's see what else I'll do. I'm probably not going to print this one, so I'm just going to unflag it right away. The one of the, oh, maybe I will. See, I can't, once I'm here, I want to print them all. This one is not the greatest picture of the donkey, but it is a nice picture of both of my girls brushing the donkey, and that's kind of a nice memory. So maybe I'll print that one up in 3x4 as well. So I'll do that right now. You get the sense now of how I do this. The details don't really matter so much as just kind of like the way that I sit down and do it. Everybody's different, and so this might work for some people, but it might not work for others, but this is just what works for me. So I'll be back at my workstation in a few minutes with pictures already printed up and trimmed down. I like to use this trimmer. This is a Creative Memories trimmer. It looks like this. And what I really like about this trimmer is that it's small, so it's perfect for pictures that come out of a 4x6 printer. But also I really like that I don't have to stand up when I'm cutting. So with my other trimmers, I find that if I'm sitting down when I do it, I get a crooked line, but this one is okay to sit down for. So that's one of my favorite things about this. And my friend Tanya gave me this. It was so sweet of her, because I tell you, I use this all the time, especially for Project Life, but I use it mostly for trimming photos, not for trimming paper, but I really love having this, so thank you so much. Shout out to Tanya, thank you. Okay, so I am done trimming and printing my photos. Now, I might change my mind and go back and switch something up, but for the most part, I try not to because that just takes too long. This is not going to go there because it didn't happen. I kind of try to make them a little bit chronological, so these two things will go down at the bottom. So now I'm just going to try to figure out where I'm going to put these. So these two have to go in either tops or bottoms, but the other ones can move around. Hello. So this one has to go in here. This one I'd like to go in here. Yes, I am doing a voice video. Okay, so it's clear that I have too many pictures for what I want to do here. It is clear. So at this point, I'm not going to have enough room for journaling and, you know, design elements and stuff. I like to have a couple of filler cards where you can just kind of rest your eye. And so rather than cramming these all into one page, I either have to get rid of some of these, which, I mean, I could get rid of this one because I've already scrapbooked it. These two are really similar to each other, so I could get rid of one of these or the other. And then if I did that, then these ones would kind of spread out a bit nicer. I don't exactly need this and this and this. That's like 3 different pictures about the barn. So I could get rid of that. I really want this one. I really want this one, and I really want this one. So, I mean, maybe I'll leave it kind of like this, but again, then every single pocket or pretend pocket, because sometimes I just kind of do these like 2 4x3 cards. Okay, Maya.
Hi, Maya.
Hi, Maya. Please don't walk on my Project Life. Okay. 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 There she goes. So again, then I have something in every single pocket, which isn't so bad, I guess. I don't know. I don't really have much room to write about some of these things if I do it this way. I've got room here. I can write about both of those here and here. Can write about these above and below them. I'd like to say more about this one because it has a bit of a story about the donkey and the goats going into the freezer. So my other option is to add an insert. I don't want to add an insert because I want my album to fit in one album. This one has my kids in it, so I want to keep this one, but this one has a cool story, so I want to keep this one. I guess I don't need to have the weather. If I took the weather out, the weather is also a bit of a filler card, right? So it might be a filler card, but it's a dark filler card. I like to have a bit of light. So yeah, maybe I'll get started this way and see how it feels, and then if I feel like I need to add an insert, I'll add an insert. And if I don't, then I won't. Hi guys, so you would have seen me kind of putting together, laying out where I want all these photos to go and which cards are going to go with which photos. I'm using pretty much entirely the Scraptastic kit here from the August This Life Noted kit. And what I did was I had certain elements that I wanted to make sure I spread around this page, and those would be elements that were either on the other page, which I moved out of my way. So I wanted to put another one of these little dots. This was actually from last month's Project Life kit. And I wanted to make sure I brought some of these, I'm going to say iCat. I don't know if that's the right way to say that word or if it's iCat. I think it's iCat. Elements, somebody on YouTube told me the name of that. I've only ever seen it in print, like in catalogs and online and stuff, so I don't really know how to pronounce it. So I wanted to bring these two elements over because there are elements of that in the other spread. And then I wanted to use the washi tape in a few different places with the days of the week. I still have a Saturday and a Sunday to use, which I might, this one was Saturday morning. I don't know if I'm going to have a place to use Saturday and Sunday, but I wanted to definitely use the days, a couple of places, the day washi tape in a couple of places. And so now that I've spread a couple of elements around, now what I do is I take each card and I work all the way along, kind of adding some details, gluing everything down, and then putting it back in its place. So that's what you're going to see next.